Ukraine and its war with Russia was a central topic in the U.S. 2024 presidential election and the campaign. Now, President-elect Donald Trump had repeatedly said that he can end the war between Russia and Ukraine in 24 hours. As Trump prepares to take the helm of the White House for a second term on the 20th of January 2025, all eyes will be on him and his strategy to stop the Ukraine-Russia war. Take a look at this report to know more.
The brutal Russia-Ukraine conflict, in which 1 million people have been killed, has shown no signs of coming to an end. Ukraine and its war with Russia was a big topic in the 2024 U.S. presidential campaign. President-elect Donald Trump cited present U.S. policy towards Ukraine numerous times to attack the Democratic Party leadership, arguing that the White House has been funding and arming a large-scale war that does not benefit America. On the other hand, Trump's Democratic opponents accused him of cozying up to Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying his approach amounts to surrender for Ukraine that will endanger all of Europe. But Trump has consistently said his priority is to end the war and halt the drain on U.S. resources. In fact, during the campaign, Trump even claimed that he could end the war between Russia and Ukraine in 24 hours. He had declined to give any further specifics.
If I become the president, I will end the war in 24 hours.
Donald Trump has said he identifies with the Russian position that Ukraine should not be part of NATO. Kyiv says joining NATO will deter further Russian aggression. Trump and his allies claim Ukraine's membership will unnecessarily provoke Moscow and drag the alliance into a war. On the 13th of January, just a few days ahead of the inauguration, the US President-elect Donald Trump said he will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin very quickly after he takes office next week.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled.
Like you said, he famously said that he would end it in 24 hours. That's impossible. Even the 5 to 6 month deadline, it's not clear exactly how Trump is planning to do that, but I assume it's going to be a negotiated settlement between Russia and Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine knows that with Biden leaving and Trump taking over, that he's in a much weaker position in terms of support from the United States.
And then there's also his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, his proposed national security advisor. Waltz has said that he's going to use leverage. He's going to tell the Russians that if they don't come to an agreement and accept a negotiated settlement, then the U.S. is going to increase the aid, the military aid to Ukraine. He's also said that he's going to tell Zelensky that if he doesn't come to agreement, the U.S. is going to cut off military aid to Ukraine. So it's going to be using that kind of pressure. And we're going to see some version of that. We don't know what that's going to be.
Donald Trump's return to the White House is all set to reshape U.S. foreign policy, indicating radical shifts on multiple fronts as wars grip many parts of the world.
And to discuss more, we are now being joined by Volodymyr Omelian from Kiev. Omelian is a former minister of Ukraine. Now, thank you so much for joining us on the show and taking out of your time. Let me begin by asking you, Trump has made it very clear that he wants to end the war, and he has also promised that he can end it and it can be done in 24 hours. How positive are you as Trump takes on the presidency?
Thank you for inviting me. Definitely, we fully believe Trump's words, and I think he was honest, telling that he wants to stop this war and all wars all over the world. The only problem how to do it, and there is no simple solution to that, because we know perfectly well from our history that Kremlin always cheats. In 2014, we saw the situation when Crimea and part of Donbass was taken from Ukraine by Russia. We have elected the most pro-Russian president ever, Mr. Zelensky. He was very peaceful and was thinking that it's possible to find compromise with Putin. It ended in the biggest bloody war all over 21st century in Europe. And I don't think that it will be easy task for Trump. I don't think that it's easy task for his new administration coming into power today. But let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't believe somebody saying that Trump will fly away from Europe. He doesn't want to repeat the story of Biden in Afghanistan. So definitely there will be some hard solution in coming months, not 24 hours, unfortunately.
Right. You talked about Europe. Now, talking of restructuring of U.S. relations with NATO, Trump has been suggesting European allies should reimburse the U.S. for aid sent to Ukraine. Where does the hope for Ukraine joining NATO stand after Trump's presidency, and what does Ukraine think of this?
Good issue. At least we talk about that. It's already a positive signal. Definitely, there are some opponents of Ukraine joining NATO, even inside NATO. But in nowadays situation, I would say that Ukraine unique, that has a strong army in Europe, ready to fight any enemy. All other NATO membership in European Union, in Europe, has only theory and some practical lessons learned from war in Ukraine. So I hope that one day NATO member states will come to a very natural and organic solution. Ukraine should become a member.
I see. Now, considering the war battleground situation as of now, what if Trump, how much time do you think would it take for Trump to actually be able to implement a solution? And how does Ukraine consider that? And what if he fails to bring a solution as fast as Ukraine would want to?
I believe couple of months. I believe couple of months the soonest. The present situation is also very unstable because of one factor. If we come to some compromise or ceasefire idea, will it be everlasting ceasefire or just for a couple of days or couple of months and then war comes back again? This is actually what Russia is doing all the time. In 2014, 2015, there were a lot of ceasefire, which were prolonged in coming years. But Russia keep on attacking, and in 2022 started the invasion. Therefore, before the solution found how to tackle this issue, we have to have 100% guarantees from our allies that Ukraine is strongly backed by their weapon, by their finance, and this awful invasion will never repeat again.
All right, and considering Trump taking the presidency, looking forward, how do you look at the Ukraine-U.S. relationships going forward?
It's anyway strategic ones, and I believe the foreign relations of United States doesn't depend on president. I believe that Trump is true president of United States, and he understands the nature of interests of Washington in Europe. And I believe that current interest in that situation is Ukraine right now, the fourth post of the United States, and free Europe in Eastern Europe.
All right. Of course, we'll be looking at how all of that plays out once Trump does take the presidency. But thank you so much for joining us and giving your perspective, Mr. Volodymyr.
Thank you for having me.
Omelian. Thank you.